Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a piece of music similar to Music for Airports by Brian Eno. The main technique that he used in that album is a looping process where he played various performances through tape at different speeds, and so they would loop and they would intertwine and change and evolve over time because they would never play at the same rate, and so nothing would ever repeat except for the loops themselves individually. But as a whole, it would change seemingly organically, but a very complicated process of looping at different rates each performance or little phrase. And I've been thinking how to do this for quite some time. I was contacted by a subscriber, wanted to know if there was a way to do this in Reaper. And at first I was kind of thrown. I didn't really, I hadn't really studied Music for Airports, the process. And even though I kind of did some research, there isn't a lot of information on it, like detailed information. So it's just kind of general information I got. But I realized there really is a way to do this in Reaper, and you don't need it to continuously loop and change like authentic generative music, because the music in Music for Airports is finite. It doesn't last forever. Like I think 1/1 is about 16-17 minutes. So if you created some loops and you were able to loop them in varying speeds, or they didn't loop the same as one another, then you would be able to create something similar. So I'm going to test that out now. I'm basically trying to figure it out and do a tutorial at the same time, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work. So I'm going to start out doing loading an instrument up. So I got the addictive keys. I'm just going to do one instrument, and right now I have the Grand Noir preset, which I like the sound of. I'm not trying to copy Music for Airports. I'm just trying to show you something similar that you can do, or the process that's similar to the album, at least from what I gathered from the little bit of research I was able to do. So let's record one line, and what I'm going to do is I need to use the metronome, and I put it at 90 beats per minute, but I'm not going to use the grid or snap to grid. We'll see why that is later. At least I'm thinking why we need to do that. Okay, start. So it doesn't need to be too complicated, because we can just keep creating mini items here. Let's keep going here. So yeah, the thing is that we can kind of do here is we can play these at the same time, and we can kind of get an idea that they're working harmonically. Then we're not going to loop these like this so that they're playing at the same time once we get further along this process. But at least we can start it like this, and then we can kind of get an idea that these are going to work together. So, new phrase. I'm going to make this one long. Okay, we got another one. So I'm thinking at some point I'll want to add a little bit of like a dissonance. Maybe something that repeats not as often. Maybe this note. So I'm just going to make this particular take just that note. Just that one note. And really, I think the vocal track in Music for Airports was just voices doing a single note. I don't know how many voices there were, but then they were looped at different rates, and so it ended up sounding like some kind of deliberate phrasing and stuff. Like, so really interesting. So we could technically just do a single note and just do it a bunch of times, like of different notes, and then loop those at different rates, and then you would create something in that. It would kind of just flourish or flower out of that. Let's see if we want to do anything else. Any more dissonance we want to add? Maybe that. So you add something lower, maybe. I think actually, if you want something more similar to Music for Airports, you need to have less like melodic phrasing that I've been doing here. There's that one piano in 1/1 that does, I think it's like, how does it go? No, it's not even close. I can't even remember how it goes, but it plays a lot of melody, but pretty much everything else is just kind of adding a little variety to the sound. So I want to play lower, something lower, but but I don't want to do too much, so let's just do a 2-note phrase here. Not necessarily the greatest at the timing here, am I? Okay, so let's see. Let's do that one too. Now it might not seem like I'm really doing it yet, but we'll have to start looping these at different rates. Then we'll see that it's going to work. Wait, that's not the one. I'll do that one too. Gosh, I did not follow that metronome. Better to be a little bit behind than way ahead. I mean, okay, it's not that important. These ones aren't that bad either, but okay, so one of the things that you can do with Reaper, you can already see that they would, because I stopped them at different times, they would start playing at different times if you looped it. If you looped it, it would just, it's gonna sound bad, but let's just see if we just did this, how it would sound. So the problem is it's not going to be in tempo because there's enough phrasing going on, it's going to be noticeable. It's actually a really bad example because the music itself is kind of dark, and we want something that's more like, well, music for airports. But something a little more uplifting, I guess. But we'll make this work. So, one of the things, I'm actually going to snap to grid. One of the things you can do in Reaper is you can highlight a specific area, get the item highlighted as well, and then you can glue item within time selection, and then that actually extends the item, and now it's got a different loop point, different endpoint. So what I'm going to actually do, let's see, we'll start it. So we'll make it start when the note first starts. So glue items within time selection, and so now this item starts right here. And so we'll do the same thing here, but we'll make it a different length. Sure, why not? So now it has a different loop point. And let's extend this one out quite a bit, because we don't want it repeating too quickly, because that's just, we'll get too busy. And because it's snap to grid, I'm not really going to worry too much about where it's selecting. I kind of want it to be random, so and it's okay if that starts there. That's fine. We're not starting it right where the note starts. So let's make this one, whoops, how about this long? No, let's make it even longer. Yeah, let's do that. Glue items within time selection. Why don't I just select them all? Okay, for this one, I don't want it to loop too quickly or too frequently, but this one maybe. No, let's just do that one just a long time. Let's just change it up. Oh, that's the same. No, I don't want it the same. Let's make it maybe right here. So I'll need to do this and then do the glue items again. Now it's the new endpoint. And now 2 more to go. And see, we can also change where they start. I don't want them really starting at the same time, but we're keeping it here because then we can see how often they loop in comparison to one another. Let's see, whoops. We'll make this loop that much. And this one we'll do a little longer. Oh, that's the same length as that one. Let's do it in the middle. Yeah, that sounds good. Now, here's something we could do is we could start these where they would end. So not all of them, but some of them. Like this one, we could start here. These ones I think are too long to wait. And how about we start this one like a few clicks before this. How about this one? We start right there. How about we start that just a click after this bass note here? I think that's a bass note. Can't remember. Let's start this one at the end of its phrase. And then we'll start. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's even start this later here. Okay, so we have all these phrases and notes that kind of would work together. They're played different lengths of phrases. So let's see how it would sound looped. If we really wanted to make it even more similar to something like the first track, we would also start adding other things later on, like the synths. I think the first synth comes in about 2 minutes, and then so you could add something. Because I know I'm pretty sure Eno added stuff after the fact as well, so that might have been using the same process, but. Sure, see, there's some interesting things that happen every once in a while where it's like, oh, I didn't expect that, because they're lining up when you don't expect it, and they're doing things harmonically that you don't necessarily expect. I mean, based on the initial playing where you played them all at once, nothing is repeating at the same time. You have this phrase going first, and then this one starts in the middle. at first this starts first, then this one starts in the middle, so things get out of phase, in phase. Just, yeah, I mean, everything in itself is repeating exactly the same, but the idea is to have things ebb and flow in relation to one another. So that's the idea. And the most important thing then is not to have the loops be the same length. That's the most important part, because as long as that's the case and you loop it, they'll never repeat the same. Sorry, I'm kind of mesmerized by this, so yeah. Sorry, I went a little long, but I honestly was just figuring this out as I went. But I had a good feeling this would work, and I'm pretty sure it did. Let's see, we can extend this out. We just keep going. And practically, you don't need anything too long. You know, like I said, the first track of Music for Airports is like 16, 17 minutes long, so yeah. All right, thanks for watching.